I'm Mark Allison. I'm a heart survivor.
And my name is Laura Allison, and I'm his wife.
I grew up in Los Angeles, close to the beaches, South Bay, and started surfing when I was at 9 years old. As time went on, surfing is something that just gets in your blood. I've traveled, Laura and I have been all over the place. We've been to Hawaii, we've been to Fiji, we've been all over the Caribbean, Central America, and now Costa Rica. We have a place down there, and we spend quite a bit of time down there surfing, and I just can't give it up.
I remember that morning leaving to go to exercise, and I had made a promise to myself that I would kiss my husband goodbye every day. So I got a around the neck kiss and walked out the door.
I came into the store to kind of check in for the morning, and one of my coworkers, Trey, asked me if I'd seen the surf, and I said not yet, but I knew there was something, and I knew there was something out there. And I went out, started paddling around, catching some waves on my paddleboard, and at some point in time, I went to sleep.
It was a great day for surfing, lots of guys out in the water. And I had sitting there on my board, and I looked over to my right, and I noticed a board just kind of floating by itself. Somebody said something about, he's in the water, Mark's in the water. And so I looked over, and at that point I saw Mark floating in the water face down. And I rushed over on my surfboard along with several other paddleboarders. We got Mark on his paddleboard. He was completely unresponsive, completely unconscious. When we got him on the beach, we had a faint pulse. So we just wanted to get some water out of his lungs, so I rolled him on his side. We lost his pulse, so we rolled him onto his back. I started chest compressions while the lifeguards did the breathing. We did that for several minutes until the paramedics arrived. When the paramedics arrived, they broke out the defibrillators and defibrillated probably 5 or 6 times before they were able to stabilize Mark and load him into the truck and take him off.
I was ready to come to work, had my briefcase in my hand. I'm walking out the door, and I get a phone call from the store saying, you need to get to 65th Avenue. They're performing CPR on Mark. And I was just so shocked and surprised. I didn't know he was going surfing that day. And I'm like, for what? Did he have an accident? The last thing that went to my mind was a heart attack. So I jumped in the car, ran down. They were putting him in the ambulance. And I asked the policeman, I said, that's my husband, is he okay? And he said, you need to get to the hospital right now. And I was like, what in the world could have happened? He's a good swimmer, he's a good surfer. There was nothing that he couldn't do. So I followed the ambulance, and I got to the hospital, and they said, your husband's had a heart attack. And they're performing surgery right now. They're putting a stent in. So before I finished filling out the paperwork, the stent was in, and it was a miracle. It truly was.
The first thing I remember was the following day. I remember them pulling the tubes out and kind of looked around, and I looked over at Laura and I said, what happened? And she says, he had a heart attack. I couldn't believe it, but that's what happened. The American Heart Association's goal is to save lives.
Anytime you can further that education and get it out into the public and make people aware, it's invaluable. If you're there and know what to do, you can, have an impact, really.
It's amazing that I'm alive.